A little bit about Mrs. Phillips' educational background. She went to Michigan State for 2.5 years for the teaching program, but she said it was a very large program, but she couldn't get into it. She tried for 2.5 years, and she still couldn't get access to it. She said that the process was that she would have to do an essay or write an essay, and she apparently her essays weren't good enough to get into the program. So she talked to the advisor, and they recommended her get an English degree and then a teaching certificate eventually. And she said, that's absolutely not what I want to do because that's not going to help me be a better teacher. So she transferred to North Dakota at Dakota Wesleyan and finished her degree there. For student teaching, she actually got the opportunity to go to Memphis, Tennessee to teach in city schools. She went there because her husband had an internship, and she was placed in a kindergarten class and then a 5th grade gifted math class. I didn't specify that she's elementary certified, and I'm middle childhood, but she teaches upper spectrum of the elementary, where I want to teach the lower spectrum of middle childhood education. So it actually fits really well, I think, in my opinion. So after she graduated, she taught in the rural area of Memphis for a little bit, and she went into the city schools, and then she went down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana for a little while too. What she said about these settings was very interesting and impactful to me. About Memphis, I asked her if she preferred rural settings because that's what Liberty Benton is, and Memphis, which she preferred, and she said that it's just different needs, where in city schools they need more than just a teacher, and at Liberty Benton she can be a teacher first. So I thought that was really interesting because I want to teach in urban settings, I want to teach in city schools, and I'm from a rural area, and so is she, so getting her input and her advice was super helpful in my opinion. There's some things I'll talk about Louisiana later in the presentation, and I think it will shock a lot of people, at least it shocked me. So I'm really excited to tell you about that and what she had to say. For her teaching philosophy, we didn't really go over her specified teaching philosophy, but from what she was telling me, it sounded like students came first always, and she always cared for them. It was mostly kinesthetic learning, but she wanted students to learn, problem solve, and things like that. And she always cares about the students and wants to be their little cheerleader. So I thought that was super sweet of her. She's great. So that's a little bit about Mrs. Phillips' educational background.